Hi everybody, how was my last tutorial about introduction in German language? Please do write your reviews in the comment section. You will be surprised to know that introduction is continuing in this tutorial too, but I will include another aspect of personal life introduction, that is to tell people where you live. I am also going to cover another aspect to introduction, which is telling people how to introduce your professional life. So let's continue. So to tell people where you live in German, we use two main verbs. First is wohnen, which means to reside, and the second is leben, which means to live. Like heißen and auskommen from the previous tutorial, these two are regular verbs too. And as you remember, the regular verbs have a certain similar conjugation, which, as you can see, will be ich wohne, du wohnst, sie wohnen, sie es wohnt, ihr wohnt, wir wohnen, and sie wohnen. Similarly, with leben, it will be ich lebe, du lebst, sie leben, sie es lebt, ihr lebt, wir leben, sie leben. So now that you know of four regular verbs, heißen, auskommen, wohnen, and leben, note that we can generalize for most of the time the conjugations of these regular verbs. So what do I mean? Well, I mean that with ich as the personal pronoun, the conjugation of regular verbs will be with an ending of e. With du as the pronoun, it would be with an ending of st or est, as you will see for another verb coming later. For he, she, it will be with an ending of t or et, as again you will see for another verb coming later. For ear, it will be also with an ending of t or et. For wir, it will be with en, and for sie, it will also be with en. Now the verbs wohnen and leben can be used interchangeably to mean living in some place. But these two verbs can have a slight difference too. How? Well, wohnen is in the sense of residing somewhere only. So I can say, ich wohne in Kuwait or ich wohne in Salmia. But in order to say that I live abroad, I will not use the verb wohnen for saying that I live abroad. So I will not say ich wohne im Ausland, where Ausland refers to any country abroad. And the preposition im is actually in plus dem. So for saying that I live abroad, I will use the verb leben and I will say ich lebe im Ausland. Now, if I want to specify my exact address, I will then mention a street, for example, and I can say, ich wohne in der Massoudstraße. And in der is a form of the preposition in, but with a definite article there. And both the im and the in there that you see here are forms of the German preposition in, but in a different grammatical context. But don't worry, I will cover this grammar later on in my tutorials. So for the time being, just remember these forms of preposition in as they're written here. So moving on, another regular verb that I will cover in this tutorial part is the regular verb arbeiten, which means to work. And like the previous regular verbs, heißen, auskommen, wohnen, and leben, this verb is conjugated similarly. The only differences that you can see are that with the du personal pronoun, the verb is conjugated with est as the ending. Then with he, she, it pronouns, the verb has et as the ending. With ihr as the personal pronoun, also the verb has et as ending. But the rest of the conjugation is the same as for the previous 4 regular verbs. So before describing your professional life, you need to know some professions as they are called in German language. Now please do note that in German, most professions for females will have an IN ending to the words. But there also will be exceptions to the formulation of the female professions words, and I will show that later on. So some of the professions are der Diplomat or die Diplomatin, which is similar to the English profession diplomat. Then we have der Apotheker and die Apothekerin, which is a pharmacist. And this profession arises from the place where these people or pharmacists work, which is the pharmacy. In German is Apotheke. Then we have Rechtsanwalt and Rechtsanwältin, which is a lawyer. And the way to remember this word is by remembering the word Recht in the beginning, which means justice in German. And do note that not only has the female profession an IN at the end of the word, but also the A from Anwalt has changed to an A in Anwältin. Richter, Richterin is a judge. Architekt, Architektin is an architect. Sekretär, Sekretärin is a secretary. Lehrer, Lehrerin is a teacher. Note for this profession, the first words Autor and Autorin have been taken from the English for the author, but the actual authentic German profession for an author is called Schriftsteller if it's a male author and Schriftstellerin if it's a female. Schauspieler and Schauspielerin, actor and actress. Buchhalter and Buchhalterin for an accountant. And note that again there's a way to remember this profession, and that is by noting that this word is actually made up of two German words. One is the word Buch, which means book, and the other is the verb halten, which means to keep. From that we have the word Buchhalter or Buchhalterin. So it's any person who keeps the books or who keeps or arranges the information or keeps a record of the information in the books, which is an accountant. Then Bankier, Bankierin is a banker. Bibliotheker, Bibliothekarin is a librarian, and this word again comes from the place where these people work, which is the library, which in German is called Bibliothek. Bäcker and Bäckerin for any baker. Elektriker, Elektrikerin, electrician. Fotograf, Fotografin, photographer. And now we come to a word in German of which the pronunciation has been taken from the French language, which is journalist and journalistin for a journalist. Then Programmierer and Programmiererin is any computer programmer. Laborant, Laborantin is any person who assists in labs. So it's a male person assisting would be Laborant and a female Laborantin. Kellner, Kellnerin for a waiter and waitress. Pilot, Pilotin, pilot, male, female. Künstler, Künstlerin, artist or painter, male or female. Sänger, Sängerin, male or female singer. Verkäufer, Verkäuferin, salesman or saleswoman. Polizist, Polizistin, a police officer, male or female. Kassierer, Kassiererin, a cashier, like the man in this picture. Automechaniker, Automechanikerin, car mechanic. A driver in German is called Fahrer or Fahrerin if it's a female, but Germans also use the French word Chauffeur to mean a driver, whether it's a male or a female driver. Schneider, Schneiderin, a tailor, male or female. Arzt, Ärztin, a doctor, and the formulation of the female profession is like for the word Rechtsanwalt, Rechtsanwältin, where the A from the male profession changes to A in the female profession. And this is a doctor, male or female. Koch, a male chef. Köchin, a female chef. So pronunciation has changed a lot because the O from the male profession has become Ö in the female profession. Hairstylist, male Friseur, female Friseurin, but Germans also use another word for a female hairstylist, which is Friseuse. And last of all is a profession in German that has completely different words for the male profession and for the female profession. So, in order to remember these two words, we can again note that each of the words is made up of two German words. Kranken or Kranke, which are sick people, and Pflegen, which means to take care. So der Krankenpfleger is any person who takes care, or any male person who takes care of the sick people. So a male nurse is Krankenpfleger. Then female nurse is Krankenschwester. So we have the word Kranke, which are sick people again, and we have the word Schwester, sister. So any sister or any female person looking after the sick people is a female nurse. So having covered some of the main professions in German language, I will then in the next tutorial part describe how we can say where we work and how we can conduct a basic job conversation. So that was all for today. Do stay updated for part 2 of this tutorial. Thank you.